I just got ghosted so hard recently.
What? You? Drew just got ghosted after what I thought was one of the best first dates I've ever been on. So I'm supposed to be on a date right now, but I got ghosted.
This is exactly what you're gonna do next time somebody ghosts you or lags or goes MIA, whatever it is, okay? And this genuinely works, okay? You ready?
When you get so fat, when you get so fat,
So I recently got ghosted by this guy that I really like. And I've been fighting the urge to put my clown face on, put my clown face on, put my clown face on.
Are you sure about that?
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope you are all doing well. So on today's episode, we are going to be taking a look at modern women who are getting ghosted by men. Now, today's video is made by Manosphere, as always, guys, so make sure that you go and subscribe to his channel for putting it together for us here to watch today. And without further ado, let's just jump right in. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
Recently had a girlfriend ask me, what do I do when a guy ghosts me? And my answer for this is that you weren't actually ghosted because you weren't actually texting this man because he never existed. So as long as you can convince yourself that you're schizophrenic and you're making people up in your head, you'll never get your feelings hurt.
Are you sure about that?
First, the most important thing for women was how he makes me feel. And now it's ignore everything, he doesn't exist. Welcome back, guys, to another video of women getting ghosted, and if you enjoyed the video, a sub would be really appreciated.
I love how when they talk about being ghosted, a lot of girls can't handle the ego hit of a man not wanting to talk to them, so they have to come up with some sort of rationalization. Like recently when we covered another video, guys, the woman was saying like, oh, he didn't ghost you because, you know, you didn't want him anyway, and it wasn't really ghosting. Like they try and make up some form of excuse or something to protect their ego so that when a man doesn't want to talk to them, they don't feel bad about themselves, because a lot of these women have been told nothing but yes for their entire lives.
Appreciated.
So I was out one night and met this guy and we just had so much chemistry, we hit it off, but he lived in a different state. So we'd speak on the phone every night, we just kept talking, and then eventually after speaking for probably a month, I flew over and spent the weekend with him. We had the best time and we kind of had the conversation that we were really into each other, you know, and we were like seeing each other. Anyway, another month went by where we were communicating all the time. I flew over again to see him, he introduced me to his sister, he introduced me to his best mates. Anyway, another month went by, so it's now been 3 months. He was coming to visit me. I'd bought him a ticket to a concert. We were going to this beautiful winery that I'd paid a deposit on. He was supposed to be flying in on the Friday night after work. We'd spoken, it was all set up. On the Wednesday night, he seemed a bit off and I was like, are you all good? He's like, yeah, all good. You have done nothing wrong, but I'll call you tomorrow and explain. That's the last I heard of him. He never replied to another message. He deleted me off social media and I still don't get it.
It's easy, ma'am. You weren't his first choice. He was probably talking to a lot of women and a better option came up. Plus, I would never take a long-distance relationship serious. They never work and there will always be trust issues.
I love how a lot of girls, their method of getting into a relationship, right, is to go out there and talk to a guy for like months or weeks or whatever, and then try and sit down and have a discussion about whether they like each other or not, and whether or not they see it going somewhere. This is why so many girls get to this age, get to 30 plus years of age, and they are still single, right? Guys, back in the day, there wasn't a talking phase. You know what I mean? You don't talk to each other and have bedroom fun with one another for a few months before you finally decide to potentially get serious. Okay, imagine if this was your daughter, guys. She was running around out here and this is how she decided to conduct her relationships. She would go out with random dudes, right? And then like 3 months down the track, she still doesn't have a relationship and she thinks that, oh, maybe we just need to have that talk. It's ridiculous, man.
favorite holiday because something bad always happens to me on New Year's Eve. And I started dating this guy and I was getting really excited because I was like, oh my God, it's getting close to New Year's Eve. This is the first time I'm gonna spend New Year's Eve happy for once and bring it in with someone new. What happens? He ghosts me on New Year's Eve and I am heartbroken. I'm bringing in the New Year's, like bawling, hysterically crying. I then wake up the next morning, I look in the mirror, I see how bad I look, I make a joke and I make myself laugh, and then I said, you know what, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna make people laugh from all my bad dating experiences.
If that is what you wanted, I'm sure a lot of people will laugh. So your dream came true.
I find it really weird, and I said this literally on the last video, guys, but like, if you're a dude and you go through a bad experience, or if you're just someone sane in general, man or a woman, okay, and you go through something that you found to be particularly difficult, like, I don't know, a breakup or someone doesn't talk to you anymore, whatever, okay, why on earth would you share your relationship struggles to TikTok? I, for the life of me, do not understand. Now, obviously, they're just doing it for attention, but me personally, guys, I think it's super weird that it's totally normalized for people to jump on the internet and complain about their dating lives. You know, guys, on this channel, right, I used to have a message in the video description where I would allow people to remove clips of themselves. So if a girl emailed me and she said, hey, Taylor, I want you to remove your clip or whatever, I used to do that for women. I used to go through, sometimes I'd get an email here and there, and I would remove the clips. But over time, guys, because I remember the last girl that tried to do it, right? And she gave me some really stupid reason for why she wanted to remove the clip. She didn't take accountability for what she said in the video. And I'm just like, whatever, I'll remove the clip for you. But from that moment forward, I'm not removing the clips anymore. These people decide to put this on the internet, guys. They decide to voluntarily go out here, share all this information. The only thing that a lot of these girls don't like, whether it be in relationships or the decisions they make, they don't like the decisions, right? They're totally fine with the decisions. They just don't like what happens as a consequence of them. Let's keep going.
We'll laugh. So your dream came true.
This is why you shouldn't always trust a man in uniform. So I was dating this guy. He was living in Virginia and I was stationed in Hawaii. For Christmas, I decided to pay out of my pocket to go visit him. Don't ever do that unless they're paying for you. To go visit this man for 4 days. First half of the trip, everything was happy dandy. I paid for it, he treated me well, great. The day that it was his turn to pay, this man wakes up and goes, babe, I have to go into work for a little bit. And I like totally believe that because in the military, you can't just like call out. So I'm like, okay, I'll be here, I'll be waiting. This man never came back. He blocked me on everything, stranded me and ghosted me in a state where I had no friends, no car, no money, nothing. And I couldn't even take an early flight home because it was near the holidays. It would have cost me like $1,000. So turned out he had a girlfriend the whole time I didn't know about.
Okay guys, so never trust somebody in a uniform. She is included. Guys, I really don't know how some of you do it. Having multiple girlfriends at once, I have one and it's enough. I don't have the time or the energy to deal with multiple women.
And I also want to add to this that a lot of dudes, for example, who serve their country, men who are in uniform, these guys, if I'm not mistaken, oftentimes get cheated on a whole bunch because while they're deployed somewhere, while they're out doing whatever mission it is that they're doing, their girls will run around their backs, you know, behind them. And guys, this is why I don't talk about this too much on this channel, right? But it's come up a few times, okay? People will say, look, men don't want to date me, right? And then there's like a whole list of reasons, okay? But men are also not interested in participating in society as much anymore. Why would men go out here, defend and serve their countries when, number one, a lot of their countries treat men like crap? And number two, when men are out here serving, this is just something that's come to mind, is a lot of their girls end up cheating on them. I don't know if you guys have seen the amount of men who go overseas to serve. They come home and their girl's with someone else because she couldn't bear waiting for whatever the deployment date was, even though she said she was. It's absolutely crazy, guys. Like how a lot of people, you know, have absolutely no respect for particularly the men who go out here and serve. Let's continue.
That would be the time I was ghosted by a man that I dated for a year. He didn't just ghost, he did it the most extreme way possible. So we were coming up on a year of our relationship and I'm calling him to make plans. We only saw each other on a weekend because I was in college, he was not. I'm calling him, he's not answering. I'm like, that's so weird, but I'm busy with school, so I go about my life. The weekend rolls around, still haven't heard from him. I'm like, I'm gonna go by his house and just make sure everything's okay. Go by his house, his car's not there. I go in to talk to his roommates. I walk into the house, his stuff's not in his bedroom. Roommate comes up from the basement. I'm like, hey, where's Josh? Because of course it's a J name. And he's like, he doesn't live here anymore. I'm like, well, where the hell does he live? He's like, he moved to Tennessee. This man moved 1,000 miles away and didn't say a word to me. He just left.
Why do I get the feeling, guys, that when women tell these stories, by the way, I always get the feeling that they're not actually in a relationship with the man. They just think that they are. You know, like she's been having some fun, shall we say, with the dude for a very long period of time. He's never actually committed to her, but she thought, oh, well, he took me to dinner that one time, so we're probably in a relationship. And she just runs with it. And then she gets her feelings hurt when the dude just up and ditches her, even though he wasn't interested in her at all.
I might be incorrect here, so you guys let me know your opinion in the comments. But when a man moves 1,000 miles away and doesn't even tell you, for sure you had some big red flags, really big ones.
Or yeah, or maybe she cheated on him or something like that. Okay, like there's something that's completely missing from this story. I agree with Manosphere here. When people tell these stories and they're like, man, my partner just did this, just, you know, like particularly like, oh, he moved 1,000 miles away. You know, you seem to be omitting something for that to actually happen.
I dated this guy for like a month, and basically on a Friday, he asked me to be his girlfriend. The next day on Saturday, he goes to Florida for like a convention work trip or whatever.
Just by the way, guys, never ask a woman to be your girlfriend at all. Like, a lot of times, if you do this, women will just run away from you for doing it. It's absolute insanity.
We live in West Michigan. Once he leaves for Florida, I basically have no contact from him whatsoever. I can't get a hold of him at all for like a week. My friends spend all this time like doing all this like FBI investigating, only to find out that it wasn't actually a work trip. He was basically on a vacation. Halfway through the vacation, he had a psychotic mental breakdown and he flew home to the eastern side of Michigan and he checked himself into a mental institution. We still haven't had contact at this point. Assuming I got ghosted, I get back on all my dating apps, and several weeks later, I find him back on the dating apps. We match and he basically pretends like he's been trying to contact me the whole time. He claimed he needed a clean slate and he had his entire phone wiped clean, and that's why he couldn't contact me.
When you get so fat,
And that, guys, is the end of today's episode. What do you think about modern women getting ghosted? Me personally, guys, when I see videos like this, it's kind of like women getting a taste of what men typically go through for the majority of their lives, especially as women get older. You'll see girls who get to 30 plus years of age, and it's not quite, but it's almost as though they are getting treated like men, and they really do not like it. Guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Remember to leave your thoughts and your comments. And as always, guys, make sure that you take care of yourselves. And I will be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.